Hi guys, it's Mrs. Myers. I know I'm looking a little different today. It's a Sunday and I wasn't planning on doing this, but Mrs. Myers has something going on with her tooth. I don't know if you can tell, but one of my cheeks, this one, is kind of swollen. I woke up like that on Friday, and so the dentist wants to see me today to make sure that everything is okay in my mouth. And so I am here today to do a mini lesson for our writer's workshop with you. Okay. And so I'm going to start with a story. We're talking about small moments. And one of the things I really want you to know and understand is that a lot of the stories that we read every day are also small moments. And so this is just another example of someone else who is having a small moment. So I'm going to read this story, and then we're going to actually finish up our heart maps that we started last week. So enjoy this story. Boys and girls, this is called Julius, the Baby of the World. Before Julius was born, Lily was the best big sister in the world. She gave him things, she told him secrets, and she sang lullabies to him every night. After Julius was born, it was a different story. Lily took her things back, she pinched his tail, and she yelled insulting comments into his crib. She says, "These are mine." "I am the queen," said Lily, "and I hate Julius." But her parents loved him. They kissed his wet pink nose, they admired his small black eyes, and they stroked his sweet white fur. Lily thought his wet pink nose was slimy. She thought his small black eyes were beady. And she thought his white fur was not so sweet, especially when he needed his diaper changed. "Julius is the baby of the world," chimed Lily's parents. "Disgusting," said Lily. Lily had to share her room with Julius. "After Julius goes away, do I get my room back?" she asked. "Julius isn't going anywhere," said Lily's mother. And he didn't. He stayed and stayed and stayed. Lily was supposed to be very quiet while Julius slept. "After Julius goes away, can I talk like a normal person again?" she shouted. "Julius isn't going anywhere," said Lily's father. And he didn't. He stayed and stayed and stayed. "We want Julius to grow up to be as extraordinary as you," said Lily's mother. "So we must tell him constantly how beautiful he is and how much we love him." When no one was looking, Lily had her own ideas. She says, "I hate you, you're ugly." "We want Julius to grow up to be as clever as you," said Lily's father. "So we must sing him his numbers and letters whenever possible." When no one was looking, Lily had her own idea. And she says, 3, 8, 1, 5, 9, 6, A, J, K, Z, B, S, C, H. She's purposely telling him the wrong order. Lily's parents were more than a bit doubtful about leaving the two of them alone. Lily tried to frighten Julius with her nifty disguises. She learned magic and tried to make him disappear. When that didn't work, she simply pretended that he didn't exist. Lily spent more time than usual in the uncooperative chair. Lily's parents showered her with hugs and kisses and treats of all shapes and sizes. They even let her stay up 15 minutes later every night. It didn't matter. Nothing worked. "I am the queen," said Lily, "and I hate Julius." But her parents loved him. They kissed his wet pink nose, they admired his small black eyes, and they stroked his sweet white fur. "Julius is the baby of the world," chimed Lily's parents. "Disgusting," said Lily. Lily's parents were amused when Julius blew a bubble. Can you believe it? They exclaimed. But if Lily did the exact same thing, the exact same thing, they said, Lily, let's mind our manners, please. Lily's parents were dazzled when Julius babbled and gurgled. Such a vocabulary, they exclaimed. But if Lily did the exact same thing, they said, Lily, let's act our age, please. Lily's parents were amazed when Julius screamed. What lung capacity, they exclaimed. But if Lily did the exact same thing, they said, Lily, let's restrain ourselves, please. One morning, while Lily was busy playing opera, her mother said, why don't you put some of that verbal exuberance to good use? Why don't you tell Julius a nice story? He's too little to understand a story, said Lily. He can understand it in his own way, said Lily's mother. Okay, said Lily, smiling. Julius, the germ of the world, by me, said Lily. Once upon a time, said Lily, there was a baby. His name was Julius. Julius was really a germ. Julius was like dust under your bed. If he was a number, he would be a 0. If he was a food, he would be a raisin. 0 is nothing. A raisin tastes like dirt. The end, said Lily. The story earned her 10 minutes in the uncooperative chair. Lily warned her friends Chester and Wilson and Victor about babies. Trust me, they're dreadful, he said. She warned strangers about babies too. You will live to regret that bump under your dress, she said. Lily ran away 7 times in one morning. I'm really leaving this time, she called. Who knows where they'll find me? The same afternoon, Lily had a tea party and everyone came. Everyone but Julius. His invitation must have been lost in the mail, she explained. Lily had glorious dreams about Julius. And ghastly nightmares, too. Lily's parents showered her with compliments and praise and necessities of all shapes and sizes. They even let her drink her juice out of the antique china cup. It didn't matter. Nothing worked. I am the queen, said Lily, and I hate Julius. But her parents loved him. They kissed his wet pink nose, they admired his small black eyes, and they stroked his sweet white fur. Julius is the baby of the world, chimed Lily's parents. Disgusting, said Lily. When Lily's mother felt up to it, she planned a festive celebration in honor of Julius. All the relatives came. There was quite a spread. What's the big deal, said Lily. Haven't they all seen a silly lump before? Apparently not. All afternoon, the relatives hovered over Julius. They kissed his wet pink nose, they admired his small black eyes, and they stroked his sweet white fur. Disgusting, said Cousin Garland. What? Said Lily. Julius, said Cousin Garland. I think his wet pink nose is slimy. I think his small black eyes are beady. And I think his sweet white fur is not so sweet. He needs his diaper changed. Lily's nose twitched. Her eyes narrowed. Her fur stood on end and her tail quivered. You're talking about my brother, said Lily. And for your information, his nose is shiny. His eyes are sparkly and his fur smells like perfume. Cousin Garland was speechless. He can blow bubbles, continued Lily. He can babble and gurgle, and he can scream better than anyone. Cousin Garland tried to slink out of the room. Stop, said Lily. I am the queen. Watch me closely. Lily picked up Julius. She kissed his wet pink nose. She admired his small black eyes, and she stroked his sweet white fur. Your turn, said Lily, handing Julius over to Cousin Garland. Kiss, admire, stroke, Lily commanded. Now repeat after me, said Lily. Julius is the baby of the world. Julius is the baby of the world, said Cousin Garland. Louder, said Lily. Julius is the baby of the world. And from then on, he was, in everyone's opinion, especially in Lily's. All right, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed that story about Julius, the baby of the world. But Lily's small moment in this story was when she had to defend her baby brother from a cousin because that cousin was saying unkind things about her brother. She realized, oh wait, I do love him. And so that was her small moment in the story. All right, boys and girls, so let's review what we were doing last week. Inside your writers folder, you are going to find your heart map. Okay, so go ahead and take a minute to pull that out. Now, if the story was really long and you feel like you need to take a quick break, remember, this is a video, so you can press pause and come back when you're ready. Okay, so once you have this, let's talk about the bottom. So remember, we're making a heart map about future small moments that we can write about on our own independently. And so today's going to be the last day that we work on our heart map. So your job today is going to be to complete the rest of these blank spots in your heart map. Okay, so I wanted to review a little bit with you, and I wanted to finish my heart map, and that might give you some ideas of things that you could also include in yours. So remember, anything that is about someone that we love, that's red. Places that we love, we're going to color those blue. Things that you love are going to be green, and activities that you love to do are going to be purple. So I was going to add a